Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Riding with the Dean with your boy, Steve the Dean Williams, www.themanmindset.com. And today I got an email for you, but don't forget, before we even start the show, guys, don't forget to listen to our show tonight, Wednesday night, tonight, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The number to call in is 515-605-9373. And don't forget to check out Ask Rosebud on Sunday night and Thursday night, 12 noon. We have our D&W show. All right, well, I got an email from a guy that wants to do a Stomp the Dean, and he was telling me he's 26 years old. He has no debt. He loves to draw graphic designs, and he wanted to do tattoos, and he wanted to know what kind of job could he do or what kind of business could he start. So before I even break that down and tell you and all the guys out there that are listening, I want to first let you know what it entails to have a business. If you don't want to do the long hours, what I mean, there is no sleeping. You're going to have very long hours. Any time that you have needs to be dedicated to whatever you're going to do. You should put everything you have into it. So if you're on your lunch break, you're always constantly working. You have to also remember that you are here to make money and you're not here to make friends, which means you're going to have to cut back on the Facebook and the Instagram and all that other stuff. So if that's the first phase and you want to do that, then you're on your way. The next thing you want to think about doing is getting a .com, because you want to create your brand. Having a .com is like wearing a suit. Very important to have. Think about a .com that you want to have. Also, like I said, create your brand. Now for you, because you know how to draw and graphic design, I've got the perfect idea for you. Now, another thing you can do before I even discuss all that, you can either be a ghostwriter, you can create your own brand, you can create your characters, you can be the brand. There's so many things that you can do, especially with what you know how to do, because you know how to draw. So I have an idea. I know you mentioned that you wanted to go into doing tattoos, but I don't think tattoos would be good for you, especially when I have a great idea. Now, when you talk about starting a business, and this is very important, you know what? You need to have a certain skill, but you also need to fulfill a need that's out there. And because you know how to draw and you're good with graphic designs, I've got the perfect thing, and that is kids. Drawing for kids, writing, creating a book, children's books, and we're going to discuss that in a second. But the great thing about children, and which goes with your graphic designs, is that when you create a business, you want to make sure it's something that is constant. And we know kids are constant. So if you look towards writing a book or want to use your graphic designs, gear it towards writing for children, as far as children's books and things like that. Now, what I want you to remember now is very important, is you have to have an imagination. I know we do our dating shows, I talk about having an imagination, but what I'm saying for you is have an imagination. Know what you want. And what I mean by having an imagination, especially if you're writing for children, is that you've got to remember your childhood. You got to remember how you felt, your childhood memories, things that worry you, things that gave you pleasure, and all those other things when creating for children, okay? Now it's time to come up with an idea. Now, again, when I was writing my children's book, The Adventures of Frisky the Ferret, with Honey Bunny, Tinky the Squirrel, Freddy Frog, and all those other things, I had everything set, and this is what I'm going to give you and guide you on this phase as far as you working on a children's book using your graphic designs. Now, again, if you don't know how to draw, for all you other guys out there, go to Fiverr.com. You can always pay someone to draw your ideas and create your characters, okay? But now what I want to talk to you about are the types of children's books that you can write for kids. Because I not used to write, but I still have children's books that I have written, but I have not put out there. But again, these are the types that you can have that you can write for kids. There are the fairy tale types of books. You have books on how to. You've got safety type books. You've got series that you can do a series of books. You can do holiday type books, problem type books, books on making new friends, books on learning new skills, books on following and what happens if you don't follow the rules type books. You got books on bullies. You have books on making choices. See, y'all can't stomp the Dean. I keep telling you, this is how my mind works. You have books on facing fear. You've got historical type books. You've got fable books. You've got, I'm just going off the top of my head, for kids, you've got, because I got a bunch of kids myself, but you have, you know, from the same woman, of course, but you have naming type books for younger kids, like picture books that teach children about animals, plants, foods, toys. Those are the ideas that you want to have. So what you got to do is you got to choose what kind of area or age that you want to go after when creating this book. Okay. Now I'm not done talking about your graphic skill, because what you need to do is you have to create your character. Make sure when you're creating your character, which is very important here, creating your character, your main character should have personality. Okay. He's the main character, but even in that character, he has to be in the setting. Like Frisky the Ferret was in the setting of kind of like a farm type setting where he hung out with the animals and stuff. But for your character that you need to write about, he needs to be an unforgettable character, okay? He needs to either get himself in trouble, he's got to have a weakness, he has to battle through problems and obstacles, and then at the end of the day, you want to give a moral of the story type thing when you're dealing with your characters. Also, when you're making characters, it can be a superhero or something. But you want to gear, now again, if you're gearing it towards young kids, which is very important because kids love colors, shapes, and all that other stuff. You got these are the things that you got to think about. If I were you, I wouldn't go towards the middle age, the teenage kids, unless you want to do more of safety type books or learning new skills or bullying and facing fears. But if you know how to draw, you can draw just illustration books and things like that for young kids. So there's so many things that you can do while you are doing that. Excuse me. But also and this is something else you need to also think about while you are creating your book, because it's not just a book, because we're in a different time now where you can use the technology and computers and things to help you out. And this is how you can spin it off. One thing you can do once you create your characters, then you can think about scripts, music, work on scripts, work on music. You can also work on puppets, creating your character, turning them into puppets. And what I would suggest you doing after this point, again, this is just how my mind is working. I want you to go beyond just writing the book. I want you to go ahead and think about, you know what, after that, I want to create a YouTube show. Create a YouTube show, because what that gives you is free advertising and free marketing. As long as you're gearing it towards kids, this is an opportunity for you to go ahead and do YouTube shows, how-to things, situational YouTube puppet shows with your character that will drive them back to your website. On your website, this is your website now. I'm trying to hit you because we don't have much time. But on your website, it should be connected with t-shirt ideas of your characters so you can sell t-shirts at the same time. These are some of the ideas that you can use because you already know how to draw, but this is where, again, when you're dealing with kids, it's imagination. One thing that I would suggest you do, because I saw you're a young black man, what I would suggest you do is gearing it towards young black boys and girls, because there's not a lot of books for young black boys and girls nowadays. And not only that, what I would also suggest you doing is, if you're going to be a part of this, if you're going to do this, be a part of the book. And what I mean by being a part of the book is you can be in the book as well. And then when you spin off to your YouTube series for these young kids, and it doesn't have to be young black kids, just children, whatever you want to do, you have to really don't take yourself so serious. You know, wear funny colors, talk to the characters as if they're real people, discuss the problems and issues of, you know, for young black boys and young black girls of how to love yourself, and sometimes you know, divorce and living with a single mom, or you know, having fun, you know, when stranger danger. Because, you know, I'm old school. You know, we used to have the 4-H club and all the other silly ass shit, but it helped, you know. And, you know, you can do stranger danger, understanding that, you know, you have so many options right now. And I don't mean to spin off and give you too much information that's going over your head, but what I want you to, but what's important, I want you to think about is what I want you to, fuck you, woman, fuck you, bitch. Okay, I'm sorry. What I want you to, this bitch almost ran me over. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. But what I want you to think about, which is really important when you're doing all this stuff, is Gear it towards the children. As long as you're gearing it towards the children, you have a barrage of things you can do, from not only illustrations, but you can create books and then take that to YouTube. And again, remember, Barney and all those other characters, they were created by somebody. Somebody had an idea and took it. I'm not saying you're going to be the next Barney, but who says you're not? What I'm saying to you is, learn your audience, who you want to write for, what age you want to write for. And then once you figure out the age, then that's going to give you a better idea if you want to do more illustration, you want to add light words to it, you want to do short stories. And the best part about children, especially when you have Halloween, Christmas, Easter, those can be also books that you can write, as well as things you can write, especially for YouTube shows, where your character doesn't know what to wear as a costume and things like that. And speaking of costume, guys, the Man Mindset is going to have the costume thing up this week. I just want to let you guys know. But outside of that, I know I kind of took too long, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what you can do as far as writing a book and using the talent that you have. I don't want you to do tattoos. I mean, do that on the side if you want, but what I suggest you do is something a little bit more bigger than a tattoo. Why don't you think about creating a children's book and expanding it? Get your characters, get your .com together, and realize the grind that you're going to have to take to get this thing off. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but it can happen today, guys, and you getting out there and starting. So this is just an idea from the manmindset.com. I want to give the guy that asked me the question, trying to stomp the dean. Y'all can't stomp me when it comes to figuring out a business, guys. This is what I do. But anyway, guys, if you have any questions, go to themanmindset.com, www.themanmindset.com. Don't forget our live show today. And if you have any other questions or anything, hit me up on the email, and if it's good enough, I will do a Stomp the Dean. But to finish off, remember, think about your characters. Think about what you want and how you want to go about doing it. As long as you can do that, you can draw, you can make a lot of money by investing in children. It's a lot of money. It's a big money game out there. Trillions, billions of dollars doing things for kids. And as long as you're doing this, you get a new batch of kids. Every second there's a new batch of kids coming into this world. All right, so I'm your boy, the Dean. I'll holler at you later. Peace.